Hey everybody, how you all doing today? My day's been pretty good so far. I feel like it's Friday, although it's only Thursday, so gotta make it through one more day of the week. A little better. Okay, now it's gotten dark all of a sudden. But anyway, oops, I mean to leave that open. Not that it matters. But let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, we just have a couple of things left to do to update the game to the new event system. Mostly we've just got to take care of error handling, which we've kind of done already. Like the game will stop whenever there's an error, but we've got to actually send a message to the server to let other players know that we have encountered an error and something needs to be done about it. And then also timeouts, so that if one player is taking too long, then the server should just kick them. One exception is during the selection phase. If one player takes too long, just move on as if they forfeited their turn. So let me see. Oops, looks like I forgot to commit. Well, no big deal. This is all the old stuff. Yeah, so we have this on local error, which is, yeah, when we've got an error on the local, or we've got an error that originated on this machine. That's when we need to send to the server. Let me look real quick at how I did it during map generation, because it has the same type of thing. That's not what I want. First, I think that's the server one. Oh. Guess I'll just close all but this just to clean up those tabs up there. And then the flow manager for map generation. So yeah, we have first when we receive a remote error, and then local error. And then my connection changed, so this is when we might get disconnected. I don't think we'd actually do anything if we get disconnected in the play scene right now. Okay, so yeah, there's like a local. Depends what phase it's in, whether we. Yeah, because if there's an error during these phases, then we would just unload everything. If there's an error during this phase, then we actually like wait for all the clients to acknowledge our error, and then we'd move back to the lobby. Then here we see a remote error from the server, so we would just move to the ready check. I think we do something similar. We just leave this around. Okay, so let's see. So if we receive an error during the error phase, then would we just quit? Or probably nothing would happen, actually. Okay, well, looks like I need a couple more things here, so let's see. Okay, so I guess no, just everybody would do an error ready check. and everybody would say, okay, a player has encountered an error, reload to the lobby or something. So, I think that's fine. So yeah, but if we do receive an error during the error ready check, okay, let's just not, I don't even know if that could happen. Let's just worry about the turn phase for now. And I guess at any time during the turn phase, if we receive an error, we'd want to go ahead and switch to the error phase. Okay, so that's actually pretty simple. And then private void on remote error, we'd pretty much do the same thing. Okay, and then we'll have one last thing for the error ready check. And then we would want to, I don't know, have like some exit to lobby event. Let's just call this error exit event. Oops, I did this wrong. The name first and then the interface. So yeah, we'd switch to none and then fire that event. I guess first we should check to make sure that we're actually in the error phase. Okay, so we've got that taken care of. So I guess first of all, we need to, we have this error message sender, but it's not been updated. I can probably just copy the one from the map generation. It's not a whole lot is different. So this would be match phase change. Okay, and so our sender, and it is just the same. Actually, it wouldn't be loading error. I guess it'd be play error. Okay, so anyway, if the match phase equals error, then we want to be sending these ready checks. And like probably in the final game, we'd have like a pop-up that would say exit to lobby. Yes, and then once we press yes, we'd start sending that we're ready. But we won't worry about that now, so I'll just go ahead and just send that we're ready immediately. Okay, so yeah, if we're in the phase and we get the correct ready check type, we'll just deactivate the message sender and then queue this complete event. Okay, so let's see. The order here is a little important. On error complete, and then because we want, because the order that you add things to the tickable list is the order that these events are checked. So you first want to check for a remote or a local exception before you see if you need to switch to a different phase. Okay, so we have an error receiver. And again, I can just copy it from map generation, I think. I don't know why it takes so long to rename files sometimes. I have a feeling it's because of Windows, because even in Windows Explorer it takes forever. Okay. This would be the play state. Yeah, and this one's really simple. It just really just waits for an error message from the server. If the type is play, then we would just queue this received event. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I thought I already had this. Does it actually have... Okay, I don't know why I used a latest event listener, because I don't... Yeah, there's no arguments there. I guess I was thinking that this event might actually contain a message, but I guess if that ever does happen, we can add that in easily. Okay, so that's about it. Okay, on this connection manager, this is what takes care of reconnecting automatically, and it's pretty simple. I don't even know, does anything ever... I don't even think anything in the game actually cares about this. But I guess later on we'd want to have like a UI window that would pop up if we get disconnected. Because normally what would happen if we get disconnected is just we'd wait anytime that we were going to try to send a message. Now that I think about it, the message listener or message sender should wait if we're disconnected. I wonder if it does. Okay, it doesn't actually, which is kind of weird. Okay, let's fix that real quick. So this message sender is really just the class that takes care of sending every message that we've queued. Yeah, I even have the local connection, but I don't do anything with it, so that's kind of strange. But yeah, if local connection dot connected state is connected, then we'll send these messages. I did that already. Okay, this is an old class. I guess I'll get rid of it. Yeah, I think now we can clean up some of this stuff. Okay, this is the class that takes care of actually reconnecting, I think. Well, no, not really. It just, once we... So we get this on connect from Unity. It tells us that we've actually connected. So then we need to validate our connection, and then we need to get some data from the server, synchronize. And then once we've done all that, then the game is connected as well. We're connected as far as the game is concerned. And then we could start sending messages. So that's all taken care of automatically. can get rid of that. Yeah, let's get the client info from the server. Okay. So I noticed I have these timeout periods, but I don't remember. I thought that they'll... Oh, I see. So during loading, you can have a timeout, or basically if loading takes too long, we just would stop loading. Yeah, that's fine, but I don't think I actually... trying to figure out if I need to have a local timeout manager for anything else. Well, it's really easy to add actually, because all it does is just place a timer, then throws an error if we do want a timeout. Okay, but anyway, let's check these message senders, or the error handling now. And I think what I'll do is just throw an error at some random point. How about... I guess we can trigger an actual error during these events. Yeah, so I'll just call this null value and it will complain about that. Oh, you know what? I don't think I initialized those new error message systems. Let me do that if it will. Let me stop. Okay, there it goes. Just, it always takes a little longer to start up the first run of the day. So this will be in the map controller for sure. I guess it's not actually part of the play flow then, because these error messages... Well, we probably want to have actually different error handling during team building. Okay, so in that case it should be in this play subcontroller. Okay, so error message sender. Alright, so now we've taken care of that. Okay, so we got, yeah, script runtime exception. And then we switched to error. Now we're sending ready checks to the server, but the server doesn't know how to handle these yet, so nothing actually is happening. Alright, so let's look back on the server. It'd be in play flow manager. So yeah, this event, I've kept this around because when we receive an error check from any client, that means that they have encountered a local error. So at that point, we would want to first relay that error to all the other clients. And then, let me see. have this yet. Yeah, so first we'd set the phase to error, then we want to relay this to the other clients. And then down here, when we're switching between all the different phases, we'd have a last one that if checks is ready, play error, then we would set phase to none, and I'll need to queue, I guess exit to lobby event. I do have that already. Oh, this is wrong. That's about it. And then I guess, what is the main flow manager? I forget. Right here. Get rid of all that. So we would actually just listen for the play flow manager, exit to lobby. And in this case, yeah, it's pretty simple. First, we just check to make sure that we're in the play phase. And if we are, then we just switch to lobby. But the game won't actually deal with this right now. Well, yeah, the server will be in lobby state, but the client won't actually switch to lobby yet because it's actually got to dispose and everything. Speaking about that. The play subcontroller should listen to see if we get a certain event. So if events, I don't have a reference to the event. How did I do that in the other ones? Okay, so I don't, we just look at the phase. I don't actually queue an event. Well, I guess this is fine. I mean, we could just have an event listener here. I guess I'll just leave this. We'll do it in the play flow. Oops. Add game pickables, add new event exists listener for play flow. I don't have to do play flow. Flow. What is it? Flow manager. Dot error exit event. Let me see. I guess we got a pass the event queue. Oops. I meant to copy that. And then I guess on error exit. This is a bit not quite as elegant as some of the other things, but just because this class isn't equipped to deal with it. But all this is doing is just adding a new tickable. Oops, and I gotta give it the priority. So ticking priority dot phase container sub. And it just works like all the other event listeners. Okay, so when we receive this event, I would just set the new subcontroller. Do the unload phase, which is just going to unload everything and then exit to the lobby. But right now I don't think it actually does anything. Okay, well, let's check this, see if it works. Okay, so two things should happen. The client, excuse me, will receive an error from the script and then send a message to the server. Okay, what's going on? And then from there, the server should send a relay message back, and then we should receive that everybody's okay, ready to go, and then exit to the unloading phase. But it doesn't look like that's happening. Server. Oh, this is before. Oh wait, what is going on here? Okay, so the server did switch to the lobby phase. And the server main phase switched to the lobby. Okay, and the server did send the error relay, so the server is working, sort of. Server did not send the ready check back, though, it looks like. Okay, that must be what I forgot to do. Oh yeah, I did forget to do that. So first, there's some other weird stuff happening, but... And also, I think I forgot for the play, where is it? The auto ready checks. I guess this isn't actually okay. So, but like if we receive a play error, but the server isn't in the play phase, it should return true. But I don't think I have a lobby auto ready checks yet. Yeah, I just have loading. Okay, let's see. Do I want to handle this now? I guess it just depends how I want to organize it. Like, do I want these classes to be organized by the server being in the loading phase, or having to deal with the loading phase ready checks. This one seems to be organized by the ladder because it actually, if we're in like player lobby, we do actually return true. Okay, so I guess I'll just leave it like that. Anyway. This will be slightly different. So else if e.type is play error, then let's see. Let's just make a separate function. Private bool is auto recheck play error, and basically we would want to return true if we're in any phase except play. Well, the team build might be slightly different, so I won't handle that yet. Anything else would be false for now. And again, what this does is just if for some reason the client got behind the server, then the server will just go ahead and automatically send ready checks. I don't know, that might happen here. We'll see. Also, there's another weird thing, but it's not really related to this bug. But the server seems to automatically move from the lobby, but that might be intended. Like it starts loading again, which I guess isn't really a big deal, but I think it might be because this lobby ready check was still in there because it hadn't been 5 seconds. Okay, so let's see, we got this. So we switch to error. Okay, then the client sent the error ready check. Server switched to error and then relayed the message back. And then also sent a ready check back. Why did it send it again? Lobby flow manager. Oh, yeah, it's sending the lobby. Yeah, because I think the list, it was just stuck in that list. So yeah, that's the problem that was happening there. But anyway, let's look and see what the servers or the client is doing. The client receives some stuff, and then the error message receiver fired. That's the server again. Don't really care about the server stuff. Okay, so then yeah, on the client again, it reacted to message receiver received and the sender complete because we got the ready check back. So it kind of discarded this event, but on this event it did switch from error to none and fired exit to the error exit event, and then switched. Okay, that's not right. Okay, I think I know what happened there. I'll fix that. Yeah, it started actually doing a whole bunch of stuff. But then we still did switch to unloading, so nothing else actually happened. And then we got disconnected. Oh, that's way later though, because we got timed out by the server. Okay, so two things I need to fix here. First, I'll do it on the client side. Okay, so when I set the phase to none, after that this tick ran, and then this is waiting for match phase to be none so that it can initialize the game. So I actually just need to create a new match phase. And yeah, nothing will actually care about this phase, but it will know just not to do anything until the play or the subcontroller is switched out. And then the other thing I need to do is on the server, whenever we react to a ready check, I should clear that message cache. Okay, so like here. Okay, well this is like the auto reply thing. Let me see. I'd like to have a helper function for this. Okay, yeah, let's try this. Let's just make something here. So ready, check, helper. So, like here, there's a lot of code duplication, and all we do is just switch to phase and then send a ready check. And I don't really want to have to add another thing here to also clear this ready check. So I think I'm gonna make like a helper to this is ready that will check ready and send. Actually, I don't know if I should do that because I kind of have to set the phase before I send the ready check. Which is a bit of a shame. I'm gonna see if there's a way I could do fancy stuff with like lambda expressions, but that would generate a lot of garbage every turn or every tick. I guess, is there... No, this just sends it automatically. There might be nice to maybe just queue these messages up, but that's going to be a bit of a pain. Trying to think what would be the best thing to do here. So really what I need to do is, I guess I could still have send and clear, so that would at least help a little bit. Okay, so let's just get this ready checks. I think that's all this class will need. So we'll have public void is ready, then ready check type. Okay. And instead of putting this in the ready check, I can use the right brace. This data object, I'll just move this class or this function out into this ready check helper. And then public void send and clear. Okay, so for this I actually need the client helper or whatever it's called. Okay, so what we would do is client sender and then we'd also want to clear the collector so that ready check data doesn't stick in it. Okay, if I gotta do it this way, I have to check if it's not null. Okay, so let's just generate our constructor again. So the play flow manager, I guess I don't really need this ready checks class anymore, so I'll just get the ready check helper instead. Okay, so now I already use is ready, and then I guess instead of send ready check to all, I would do checks, send and clear. Okay, so at least saves me a little bit. I guess I don't have to do that anymore. But yeah, I wish that I could clean this up a little more. But by combining this ready check and the send, but the problem is I gotta set the phase in between. And that is kind of important because, at least for testing, I could receive a message immediately after I send it before the set phase runs, and that would just confuse the game. So that's okay though, it's not that much. I just I don't like having to make sure that these types are always synchronized because that caused some errors in the past, but okay, so let's see. I guess I should update a bunch of this other stuff. So ready check helper. Then instead of sending it to all, I'll just do ready, send and clear. And I think, yeah, I was looking for this, the load flow manager. Okay, so checks, send and clear. I guess I do have to copy this whole thing. Alright, so then I just need to initialize the ready check helper class in the server game. Okay, it has to go after the active client sender because we do need that class. Ready check helper. Okay, so now when we look through this list, the ready check should clear immediately after moving on to the next phase. Okay, let's just complain that this is public. How to recompile. And really all that's going to happen now is the server will just stay in lobby state after exiting due to the error. Okay, let's see if that's actually true. Yeah, so server main phase switched from play to lobby and it's staying there as expected. Why did we receive 4 ready checks? Ready check message received. Okay, well there's a bunch of different, but I'm trying. Yeah, it's some class that doesn't have a name. It's on the, well, nothing is actually, it's not doing anything with it, but I don't know why that debug is not working, because usually it would say this message was, and then it would say the class name retrieved this type. Yeah, like here, listen. I guess a lot of things listen for ready check messages, so it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, I think everything's working there. Okay, so now just gotta do timeouts. And I already have a timeout manager, but I guess I should add some more stuff here. Okay, so first, play initialize turn. Yeah, I don't really know what these periods will be, so I'll just have them pretty long for now. Play select, calculate. Okay, this one is probably going to be the one that I'll need to fine tune. And it'll probably actually be an option in the lobby now that I think about it, but not for now. Okay, and public const float play player action calculate. Yeah, I just want to have separate timers for each of these because we'll probably want to tweak them individually. And player execute. Then after turn effect action, calculate. Oops, if I can spell it. Maybe I can. Let's just copy and paste so I don't have to type so much. Check and execute. And then we just have the end of turn. And so basically these timers are going to be the time in between every ready check. And then we have this error one. I don't know, do I want to have a separate one for the load error? Maybe. Okay, so anyway. Alright, so this doesn't actually create the timeouts, it just watches to see if they've... I guess the time is out. So what... Let me look to see how I did this. Okay. Yeah, so maybe we'll have a different class. I don't know. Well, we'll definitely have a different one for play, but... I don't have a play timeout manager already, do I? I guess I can clean up the server a lot, because I've already made better versions of all these classes, so I don't really need to keep them around. Oh, I do want to keep this in case we update that. Oh. Don't need that either. Let me just take a quick look to see if I've forgotten to update something else. Better version of that. Okay, I think that's about it. Yeah, so let's just make the play timer manager right now. Okay, and right now I could just copy it, but probably we'll need to switch some stuff around. Oh. Okay, so play timeout manager. I guess we'll need all this stuff. Okay, and then it's creating a timeout helper, probably a good idea. Let me look into see what this class does. I forget. So basically it takes a ready check type, a period, and then this... Oh yeah, when you start the timeout, it adds it to the active list. And the ready check type matters because... I guess we just want to store it in here. Let's close all of that, but I think that the load simple timeout is just once, yeah, on a timeout, if we're in phase, then we would actually just disconnect any client that we haven't received the ready check from. So we'll want to do something kind of like that, except the only different one is the selection phase, where, like I said, we'll just move on instead of disconnecting anyone that hasn't sent a message yet. Okay, so first, this will be a bit of busy work, but play, initialize turn. Okay, let's copy. So we've got 2 select, and then 3 for player actions, 3 for after turn effects, 2 for end of turn status, and then 1 for error. So choice check. execute. Oops, is this wrong? I'm kind of gonna be anal. I want to put it in order. That means I don't need these two. And then end of turn status. And finally the error. So now I've got to do these ones. Oh no, that's right. Okay, it does seem to remember my last selected one, so I can just switch around like that. Okay, so that takes care of that busy work. And then we listen for play phase change actually, and then a timeout event. Okay, and what this does, it just start the correct helper. Yeah, and I've got to match up the phase with the ready check type. Maybe I'll do this a little bit smarter. Okay, so let's do active ready check. Yeah, by design, every phase corresponds to a specific ready check. Oops. Guess this can move down here. I can do this a little easier. So helpers, add helper, and I don't need to return it. I guess I've already done all this, so now I've got to delete it. Yeah, part of programming. Sometimes you gotta do these unfun data entry, but okay, so I got the period. I also want to do this server play phase, and so that way I can just type active ready check phase equals type. Okay, now these are a little bit too long to fit in the window, but okay, so select and then choice actions calculate. And then after turn effects, calculate, execute, status, and error. I think that's about it. So now instead of doing this, I can just do if active ready check try get value state play phase Okay, and if this is false, we'll just want to set it to 0. Okay, and then we just switch through there, so that's pretty simple. Okay, and similarly here, although I guess we do it slightly different. And then if active type equals the ready check type, okay, well since I do this twice, maybe I should extract it. Get active ready check type. Okay, so then what this does is gets the ready check and then would go and disconnect, but we know that we have to do something different if the active type is play selections calculation. Oops, I forgot the if. So at this point we'd want to fire some kind of event to just tell the server to move on. So public class selections timeout. All right. So yeah, at this point we'll just time out. Okay, so what would happen here? So trying to find the selection message manager. Oh, here. So what I need to do is, instead of waiting until we receive from all, we would just do this immediately. It's not that difficult, but I don't really want kind of like it to happen right away so that I guess it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, let's see. Correct. So make message. Okay, and then I just have, it might be a little roundabout, but it gets the job done. Add new play or event exists. Play timeout manager, selections timeout. So on time out. Let me see, actually. I might not need a special event for this, really. Okay, I think I can just do it like that because I already have a timeout event. Let's see, what is it? Timeout event. So I would just check to make sure I'm in phase. So if state.play phase is selections calculate, then I would just make the message and that. Then once I do that, this would be set to true and the game would move on. So I think that's all I have to do. Check. So initialize, play, timeouts manager, and I think it's just normal. Let me check. Simple timeouts, yeah, that's normal, so that's fine. Okay, and one other thing I should do is set the timeout period for selection to pretty low so that I can test it. Let's just do 10 seconds. So what should happen is after 10 seconds, the server will just say, okay, you forfeited the turn, and so it will move on. I guess. Okay, yeah, the client will not have moved on yet, so let's see what happens with that. Oh, it started unloading. Oh, because I left that error in there. Oh, I can get rid of this. Okay, so now it timed out. Let's look and see what's going on. Lots of stuff's going on. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure why there's so many messages there. Let's see. Okay, so right here, did timeout play selection choice. So selection manager received that and it queued. Oh, so it's went again. Okay, the play selection manager did react to the presence, but it seems like nothing else happened, and then it just keeps on going forever. If I stop pausing, would it keep going? Yeah. So how come this play scene or the play flow manager doesn't catch up? So what should happen, I thought, was that it would see the selection message received. Oh, it's also checking for the ready check. Okay, so how would I... It'd need to somehow, I guess, know that there's been a timeout. Because normally what would happen is since we time out and then we kick a player, then this check would automatically become true. But since here we're not kicking the player, then it's still checking for a ready check. Okay. I'm trying to think of the best way to handle this. I mean, it could listen for the timeout message too, but then all it would do is basically it would have to wait. I guess I have two options. I could have this force the manager to create the message and then move on. I think it's better if it was able to just wait until the message manager created the message by itself. Seemed like it might be less buggy. Okay, let's see. Public, I don't know, cell, message, timeout. I don't really like that. I don't really want to have just a flag in here. I don't. Let me see. Could add something in here, like, it seems bad to have like a top level thing in this, or to have something specific to the play phase in this top level class. Yeah, this whole thing seems kind of messy. I'm not really happy with it. Yeah, this is one weakness of the event system, because if you're waiting for multiple events to fire before you do something, it's kind of hard to keep track. Okay, I guess I'll have to do it this way. Public boolean, selection, timeout, received. And then display selection manager will just set that to true or false. Yeah, I guess this will work fine. It's a little hacky, but okay, so then here we'd either check that the selection timeout was received or the ready checks are ready. I think I'll extract this. Is choice selections calculation ready? Okay, again, I don't really like having ands and ors mixed together. Let's see. If then we'd return either messages timeout received or checks is ready. Okay, so this should work. Again, well, the server will move on, but the client won't, I don't think. So I guess I will need to have some kind of client-side timeout, at least for the selections. Okay, so we received a ready check. Play toy selection calculation. Yeah, so the server switched to that and then sent a ready check, but since the game is not expecting a ready check at this point, it doesn't, or the client doesn't go any farther. Okay, and then the server just disconnected us because we took too long on the next phase. Oh yeah, and then the game is automatically trying to restart, which is failing. Oh, that's because it can't like reconnect to the host. It doesn't work that way. That's fine. That's just for testing. So what do I want to do? So I have two options for the client side. Either the where is it? Yeah, the message sender here can just listen for messages even when we might not be in the submit selections phase. That might be the way to do it, because then, yeah, if we just receive a message from the server that it's moving on, then we can just go along with it. Normally, well, we'd always be in lockstep with the server, but this time, since we actually have input, the server might get impatient. Let me see. Private bool in accepting phase. So this would happen either in make selections or submit. Yeah, I think this is better than having the client have like a separate timeout manager. I don't really think that's really needed. Because during the play phase, yeah, the reason I had a timeout manager in the loading phase is because for some reason loading could get an infinite loop or something and you'd be stuck in there forever. But during the play phase, you actually have input, so you could just exit out if something hangs. So, but yeah, so I really don't think we need a timeout here. Okay, the choice message sender complete. Okay, so we actually sent the message, but the play flow manager it still thinks it's out of phase, so it's not listening to it. So let me see, where is that? Here? Oh no, this is dealing with the input. Yeah, this will need to wait. Yeah, if we exit phase, yeah, then I should do something like this. We'll need to exit to inactive and no controlling player. And what else? The sequence is cleared. When is... Okay, so I save a sequence at the end of every option. But if we're forcefully... Okay, so yeah, if we're forcefully exited, or then I want to clear the sequence myself. So let's see. Else if state dot phase is not inactive, that means that somebody else switched the phase when we're not ready. Then I'll just want to clear the sequences, or the selection sequence, because that means the server did not receive our sequence, so we don't need to keep that around. That's fine. Okay, so anyway, this isn't actually what I need to change. I need to find selection flow manager, which I can't seem to see. Oh, here. Selection phase manager. So on choices submitted, So I guess I'll have a switch statement here. Okay, this phase, let's see. We could be in this phase, can't type it, if the server times us out. Okay, so anyway, either way we'd advance to requesting selections from the server, which would not include the ones that we sent. There could be a problem, like if we get timed out. Okay, how would I do this? How would I guess I wouldn't even know. So if I got timed out at some point, okay, well, let's see. So let's say that like at 29.5 seconds before, or like half a second before timeout, I sent my message to the server of my selections, but then the server timed us out and then didn't receive my message in time. But the game would think that the selections were finalized, or yeah, I wouldn't know. And then when we tried to get the messages from the server, our selections would be empty, even though we would think that we sent something to the server, and then the error checker would get mad about that. Let's see. So we actually, at first we save every selection we're expecting from us. Oh, so I guess the sent selections would be, yeah, for now we only, if the sequence is greater than 0, trying to figure out. You don't really want to just blindly trust the server. Okay, well, let's see. I guess there's a difference between the server saying that we sent nothing and then the server like giving us our returning selections that we didn't actually make. So let me if it's local client, I don't really need the sent selections. See, so if local client and the selections is 0, if client message dot selections length is 0, then if is local client and expecting selections count is greater than 0. Then what would I do? I guess nothing. Because this is something that could actually happen. Legitimately. But it feels bad just to like completely trust the server. Let's see. I think probably to prevent this from happening, the client should have a cutoff where it will stop. Like it will not let you. Like it will stop you from selecting and start sending to the server, and it should be a time shorter than the server would time you out. So I guess we do need a local timeout actually to prevent this type of thing from happening. So actually, yeah, let's not worry about this. And we'll always expect that the server received our message. Okay, so let's just create a new class here. Selection timeout manager. And this will be kind of simple. Guess I can copy this, although it'll be a lot easier than this because we're only going to have that single timeout. Okay, so yeah, we'll need to wait until we enter a certain phase. So this is the first one. So player selection phase, make selections. I guess we'll just add the timer onto the state. Public int selection timer. Oh, missing the colon. So when we enter this phase, we'll set the timer to 0. And I don't really need this get period because we'll always just have single period. Selection timer. So if the selection timer, what's it complaining about? Not implicitly convert float to integer. Oh, I made the timer an integer. Yeah, that won't work. Okay, and then get period is just time out periods. I guess play selection. And I think that's really all I'll need here. And float. So I want it to be shorter than the server. So the server right now is 10 seconds. So I'll just make this 5 seconds. Okay, that's all I want to do. Okay, so this... Oh, right. So I do have timeouts during map generation, which I guess makes sense. I don't remember writing that. But yeah, we'll need it for most of the play phase. We can always add it later. Okay, so this will be a new exception event. I always can't remember what I call it. And the type is just... Oh, I don't throw an error. Actually, we just would throw some other event here. Then the flow manager would move on. Class, okay, timeout. Okay, so here we'll just subscribe to the new timeout, and I'll do it up here at the top. It exists listener selection timeout. So yeah, we'd only want to do this if we're in the make selections phase, and then we would just advance to submit. And this is just to make sure, again, that we at least have a chance to send our message to the server before it times out, even if we're in the middle of making some selections. Because yeah, if the only time this would ever happen is in like hot seat mode, really, but okay, so now I just need to instantiate this. Okay, so now what should happen is I will... So, yeah, in 5 seconds the client will stop letting me make a selection. And so that should happen even before the server times me out. Okay, and then it's going to go through a whole turn. Okay, so let's see. Ready checks. So yeah, now it's in the player selection, and then we get... This is at frame 80. Yeah, so then we wait about 5 seconds. So selection timeout goes to timeout, and then we just submit our selection to the server. Okay, so I guess we don't actually clear the selections because we might have made some selections by this point. So we'll need to go back there. Okay, so it queues that timeout again. I don't think really matters, but okay, and then we send the messages to the server, and then the server just accepts them. So it has no reason to time us out. Okay, so why does this keep running? I probably don't check the phase, so let me see. Yeah, so we'd actually only do this if state.phase is make selections. Okay. So that works, but then this we don't want to clear this sequence actually, because we might have made some selections, so there's no reason to disregard those. Okay, so I'm gonna try to move this monster, but not this one, so we'll have made a partial selection, and I'm gonna see if the server, or if the game will actually work like that. I gotta make it fast. So that did work. Okay, so yeah, that one moved, and that was it. So we moved. Yeah, now we're back into selection mode, so I can do it again. Oh yeah, but this is hot seat mode. Okay, let's see if I can do it really quick. Okay, so now both move. So yeah, that's how we want it to work. Cool. So let's I'll just make the timeout periods longer now. Okay, so the server will give us a minute, so the client will give us 55 seconds. Okay, and this execute should probably be a lot longer too, actually, because the animations can take a while. Could make all these shorter, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Okay, so that it. I took care of errors and timeouts and exception. Okay, so one other thing I need to do here, well, I guess it's part of the interface, but we'll need a pause menu to exit game at any time. Even if you're during the animations, you should be able to exit. So that's why I don't need a timeout for the rest of the play phase. I think pretty much done updating. One other thing I want to do is I guess I should just check to see if there's any other obsolete classes that I can delete. Okay, so there's some. Audio commands, I can get rid of that one. Block collider. Oh, that's because the new terrain system doesn't use that. Oh, I do need to update. Yeah, this doodad model creator hasn't been updated yet, but let's just get rid of all these obsolete things. These components used to work with the old event system. Okay. Yeah, this was like a bad version of our, yeah, I guess a bad version of the message caches that we use now. Calls, this is the old Lua function system. Path info is just not used anymore. Where's pathfinding? Oh yeah, it's not the Lua interface now and not the play scene. And play components, I can get rid of that. Save file. Oh yeah, we don't have save actions anymore. Okay, and that's timeout message. I don't have this either. I don't know what the deal with that would be. Just you can use a ready check. Okay, and then this mono behavior, I don't want. Okay, so Pretty sure there's going to be some errors in the game now. For sure, at least this doodad model creator used the mono behavior. But it really doesn't even use anything with Unity. I guess we'd still need it to have as the parent. Make this public, and then I'll have doodad model creator logic. And a doodad is just like a decorative model on the map somewhere. There is like a lot of classes reference this old game flow logic. If I could go through and remove and sort usings on all files, that would get rid of that. Because that's the old event system we don't use anymore. I don't need to get that myself. Okay, and then I can just find the anchor through Unity. So game object find object of type. And nothing really interesting here. Okay, I do need the worker key. Let's see. This is almost exactly like the monster creator, so right now it just kind of creates them when the game is initialized, but later on we might want to create some during play, but I'm not going to worry about that yet. Setup work. Oh, yeah, of course I can't rename it because there's nothing to deal with it yet. So I guess I'll just use generate. And then I need to signal complete. Okay, and I think these are just events now, so event queue. And I queue these immediately because we want these to update this frame, and it's guaranteed that the classes that implement this command are after me on the list, on the ticking list, so that's safe to do. And really I think that's all I'll do here. Later on we'll need to do something else if we want to create doodads during play instead of just during map generation, which we'll definitely want to be able to do, but I don't have to support that right now. I guess I should write a note though. Okay, I guess create doodads during play. Yes, that's all I have to do here, but then in the map controller, I need to initialize this object. Remove block tester. I'll just get rid of this. Where even is it? Because, yeah, that was just to test the terrain to see if it would update when a block was deleted, but... Okay, so I think this will work. Okay, no object or type. Oh, okay, that's because this... it doesn't run during the map controllers, it runs during map generation. Well, oh yeah, so, okay. Yeah, so this, yeah, we'll have to change the way this works, but it'll be okay for now. Need to put this in here, which means that it's going to get deleted when, or it's going to become inactive when map generation exits. I mean, which I guess is fine. Okay. I don't see any doodads. What did I... okay, yeah, it's because I did, took out that code. I think this is still updated, so... oh, I mean, I think that code should work. Nope, there was something wrong. Okay, attempt to index a nil value at line 35. Oh yeah, it should be random utilities. I think. Or did I even add that yet to the Lua environment? No, I didn't add it yet, so... got random utilities. Random. Right, it's not here? Oh, it is there. Oh, yeah, I just called it random utilities. I guess I'll just call it random. Something else. Cannot access field, random world position, and hex. Yeah, I think I did remove that. Let me see. I think I actually just put it into the random utilities instead. Yeah. Okay, and now it's working. Yeah, so now I got these little pebbles all over the place. I disabled them because they don't actually look that good, but it was a test to see if how to go forward with the terrain. But yeah, at least we know the system is there. Okay, so I guess about it. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be working on something else. I should add like a something like this. So yeah, because we know this is done and that's done. So okay, so yeah, the only thing else we want to do is job systems, but okay, let's see what's in here. I think this might have been fixed. Those, okay, I have that, but it's not implemented yet. I don't know if I want to do this. That's not there anymore. Okay, this is a good point. Actually, clean up this thing. That's fixed. This just has to do with disconnecting, which we'll handle later. That's done. Pause, stop animation timers. Okay, that's a good point. I know that, but do I have? Loading. If we message that the player is kicked. Well, we don't change to an AI, so it's not a problem yet. I did that already. Oh yeah, this is true, but I think I already have a note. Okay, yeah, right there. And deferred mode does not work with HDR off. Oh, I have nailed down texture encoding there, but okay, yeah. So having the separate MISC reminders is kind of confusing. I should just write the reminders in the normal function. Okay, and then this is like for future. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if we'll move to terrain because I'm still kind of burnt out on it. Even though it's been a while since we've worked on it, I just don't really know how I want to do it yet. I think I need to do some concept art on it or something. I mean, I kind of got it in my head, but it's just, I mean, it looks pretty good. But, I mean, it's still, like, it's still really flat and simple. So yeah, I'd like to round out the edges, and I just don't know. I'm kind of almost tempted to go back and like almost scrap most of the stuff I've done and do like a more Minecraft style thing where we have blocks, and that way mod authors could just model a block and then they kind of stack on top of each other. But I don't know. Yeah, that might work. I'm trying to think, because like an issue I've always had is how do we show something underneath? If that's just a block and then we stack something else on top, and then maybe we have a way that you can like have a different block for the top that would be like sloped inward to kind of give a bit of illusion of slope. Or even you could have like bones within the terrain tiles that I could scale, which would give slope that way. That might be a good idea, actually. Because I think trying to have it all as one mesh it's kind of cool, and I really like the work I've done so far. But I just don't think it's gonna work well. Like, it would be perfect if I had complete control, but since it's supposed to be moddable, it's just starting to be a bit too unwieldy, I think. But anyway, yeah, we just need to think about it. I don't know if we'll do that tomorrow or not, but anyway, I guess I better go and get a bite to eat. So thanks everybody for coming by. I really appreciate it. Feel free to follow me here on Twitch, or I also post when I go live on Twitter if you'd rather follow there. I will be live tomorrow at about noon Eastern like normal. I also have a YouTube channel where I post all old streams if you'd like to catch up and see how the game used to look. Oh yeah, and then a Discord server where you can chat with me throughout the day. I'd love to have you. But I think that's about it. I'll put links in chat or in the video description if you're on YouTube, and yeah, I think that's all. So have a great day. Bye-bye.